My ex vandalized my car. I should have taken it as like a red flag some things, and it just got too much. And for him, he was like really upset, obviously. Just like, I want to enjoy one moment, one day. This man, literally something would always happen on a holiday. He was literally very obsessed with me. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Yolanda and welcome to Unfiltered Me. So for today's video, I'm going to be giving to you guys a story time of how my ex vandalized my car. And I know, right? Crazy. And at the end of the day, I'm telling this story, but in no way is it to like, bash him. I'm just gonna tell you how it is in the most respectful way. And also another disclaimer is I wouldn't be saying the story if I wanted to get back with him. So if you're watching this, just know we done good, because this traumatized me enough. But y'all, if you're curious about how this went, please be sure to give me a huge thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe down below. Make sure to turn on post notifications to be notified when I post. If I really, let's get on this video. So we started dating last year. I'm gonna be doing my hair while I'm doing this also. But our relationship was very interesting. It was my first relationship. It was his second. He came out of like a year-long relationship, and it was, I'm gonna be general because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna say his business, but it didn't end well. I mean, I'd say for the most part, most breakups that I know of, or whatever, or at least for my situations and situationships and stuff, they don't end well. But like with that, it was like 10 times worse than I've ever really, like, I thought it just happened in movies, but how that ended with, him and that girl, it was just like unreal. And so a few months later though, things happened, and eventually like I met him through social media. We just started hitting it off pretty much, and that was cool and all. I didn't know like too much in depth. Crazy thing, but literally his ex, it's literally a small world. His ex, we used to be friends back in elementary, and our moms are currently friends right now. So how crazy is that though? And so hearing all this stuff, like when he told me like half the things about that girl, I was like, that's not the girl I knew growing up with. Anyway though, oh my gosh, we're about to open up a new Blue Magic oil, but we must do it. It smells so good though. It's the Blue Magic Super Short Grow. I'm trying to grow my hair and that almost fell down. But yes, so we kind of hit off in the beginning. I'll admit I should have taken it as a red flag at the beginning, but he did say I love you 2 weeks into the talking stage. And I know, I literally know I should have like backed out, but let me tell you, I didn't. Okay guys, so life happened, but I wanted to finish the story. We're in a different position, but it's still good because I feel like this is like more casual, because it's a very like informal story. But basically continuing on, so yes, the beginning of our relationship, I mean, everything was fine. It was still like, I should have taken it as like a red flag some things. I won't go into specifics of the details of the relationship, but like it was good, but there was definitely like, it was definitely a learning curve, at least for me, because I didn't know, like, not to say that like I didn't do things in a relationship, of course, but like there's some things that I lacked thereof, and things that he could have worked on as well. And so sometimes we would just like butt heads, but it'd be kind of upsetting because it'd be literally like every single holiday something would happen. And once again, I should have taken that as my red flag. Other than that though, he was a really good guy, but he was like really into me, which I tell everybody, like, very contrast from recent guy that I was with. Very contrasting personalities. Like he was like overly like, and I'm just being real, okay? This is not like once again bash him, but like he was literally like very obsessed with me, and some of the things that would happen and he would do, it was just overwhelming. I felt like I was his mother in some aspects. It's just like you should want to like you know, do things because you want to, not because your girlfriend is telling you to, or should I say mother. And it just got too much, and I actually broke up with him. I know it may sound bad, but like in my mind I was thinking, you know what, new year, new me, and that was kind of just my thought process going through. Also, I finished my hair from yesterday, if y'all cannot tell. Actually, you can't really tell because you can't really see it, but yeah, I ended up just doing like 6 in the front and calling it a night. I did that, and oh my gosh, it was like so bad. And I think this is the main reason why what happened later, and yeah, we'll get there. But basically that night, I mean, as anybody would, just cried so much. Not me, but like, I mean, like, I was sad, but like it was kind of in a way relieving. So I feel like I'd already detached before, like, and so it was easier to let go. But for him, he was like really upset, obviously, and so he went home. He lives 40-ish minutes away from me. I think the reason why it happened is because he annoyed me, and I was just like, because we were watching the drop time, and then I was trying to count down, and then he was like, oh, it already passed, and then I was like, I still want that moment to count down the time. And he was just saying, oh, I already passed, and then laughed, and then I got really upset. And that was just kind of the cherry on top, because it's just like, I want to enjoy one moment, one day, one holiday, and yet again it's ruined again. And you know, let me give you a preface, some of the things that happened. And so I'll give you one example of one holiday ruined. Is one day it was Christmas, and I'd woken up like at 6 a.m. or whatever, get him, because his other parents lived nearby. So I was willing to drive 15 minutes at 6 a.m. for this man. So basically, I made me a smoothie, and he asked me for some, so I gave him some of mine. So then eventually we went back to sleep together, and then we woke up, and I go upstairs to go change. Now, I know I take a bit long, but I did not take that long, okay? It was no more than 10 minutes I went to go change. And I come downstairs, and tell me why this man literally made himself breakfast at my own house. Mind you, he knows I haven't really eaten, and didn't really even offer me any. I was like, you weren't even gonna ask me? And he's just like, oh. And I'm like, in my own house, you made your own food, didn't even consider asking your girlfriend, no call, no text, nothing. Like, things of that manner. Like, or it was just like, something would always happen on a holiday, and that's what happened on a holiday. I won't say it was totally weird, but because of him, because I refuse to give that total, like, you know, situation, like, oh my gosh, he ruined it now. But it definitely made me feel a certain way. But either way, back to the story. So yes, so there's a lot of things that happened on holiday, and that was the cherry on top for New Year's. So I broke up with him, and then the next day I ended up getting back together. But what I didn't know was that it was really bad crying, like that his mom overheard him. And by this point I already felt iffy about the mom, because it's like, you know, you want to say X, Y, and Z about me, but like you also, okay, no offense, but like just haven't been present. And so the reason why his mom knew that he was crying was because it was like severely bad, and because of past history stuff, his friend messaged her mom messaged her, and on top of getting that message and then hearing him crying, I was painted in a bad picture, which makes sense. You're always gonna side with your child, but we're gonna get there to what really either way, fast forward, everything, all is well, but his mom, I guess, kind of didn't like me anymore after that. She never really said like hi or whatever back again, and because I broke her son's heart. But basically, yeah, we get back together, and then fast forward to February. That's when I was just like, I'm so over it. In that moment, I realized that I was going to stay in Georgia, he is going to Ohio, and I was just like, I just can't do this. I literally, like, I can barely do 40 minutes. Our relationship is already rocky, and it wasn't really a good foundation, I felt like, you know. I feel like at the end of the day, some people are worth doing distance for, but our relationship, I just didn't see it in my eyes really lasting that long. So like, why waste my time in a way. Like, why, why continue this knowing deep down that that's not what I want? So I ended it for the second time again because it just wasn't progressing. It wasn't getting better. But what got to me was that this man already would post so much on social media, and I've always in the relationship felt compelled to post about my relationship because he did, and I felt bad. I was like, oh, maybe he won't think yada 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 if I don't post him as much. And like, I'd post him occasionally, but like, he'd post me like all the time, which is fine but not fine, because I like being mysterious sometimes. Like, you know, I like telling things after the fact. Like, you know, this video is 4-5 months after the fact of the breakup. I'll 100% tell things after the fact, but during the time over, I even at the beginning of the relationship, I wanted it to be a soft launch, but no, it was a hard launch, and I was like, no, whatever, but it's fine. But yeah, so he started posting like all these quotes and stuff. Like, I'm supposed to be the one to do that, you know, but because like, you know, I hear like more of girls doing it. I didn't know really guys did it, but he was more into doing it for his emotions. Yes, then I go at him and just like, you know, stop posting like all this stuff or whatever, yada yada yada. And then basically it just came to a point where I ended up saying something because I was just so annoyed about how he was behaving with the whole situation. So then I think I blocked him. Yeah, that's when I blocked him, like all on social media and stuff, and I still had his number unlocked. And then it was like, it was weird because even, you know, after the breakup, it seemed like he was trying to like prove himself to me, like, oh, that he was doing better or whatever the fuck. So he'd be like, yeah, like, you know, I just yada yada yada, and it's just like, okay. And that was something he was notorious for during the relationship. Even me and my parents talked about this actually a few weeks ago, about like how it was like he was always trying to like, you know, have something going on to like, you know, for attention, low-key an attention seeker, not gonna lie. But yeah, and I did have to call him out on that a few times, like, why are you on the phone talking loud, like talking in normal voice to the person, and hang up, like, or go somewhere if you're gonna be talking out like that, you know? Like, it's just also a courtesy thing. That's pretty much how it almost ended. It was supposed to end peacefully, but a few days after the fact, okay, mind you, this was a few days before Valentine's Day, okay? A few days before that, one night I'm just downstairs, and I just casually, like, literally eat. Because that's me. I literally, like, am a midnight eater, right? And so basically, that's what I was just doing, and I didn't think of nothing, and I wake up, and tell me why I woke up and I see like white stuff on my car, and I'm like, are you serious? Now at first I thought it was bird poop, but then I told my mom and took a picture of it. She's like, that's a lot of bird poop, there's no way it could be that. And then I was thinking to myself, you're so right, who poops that much? Like, and what are the odds that it was like my side of the cul-de-sac? And so literally, like, I just think that somebody had to do it. But then I think to myself, I'm just like, how? Like, you know, I was literally downstairs, and then it was crazy because the thing is, I had to have been downstairs when it happened because my dad had came at night, and I think that's when I went upstairs when he came, and he said he saw, but he didn't tell me it until the day after. I'm like, are you serious? Basically, and that happened to my car. I asked my neighbors. I couldn't get any like video footage. They didn't have anything. They have Ring doorbells, but they didn't have any other footage. We don't have those by our house cameras really, so we weren't able to really catch anybody. But it just, you know, how conveniently, how coincidental is that I break up with my ex, and in the same week my car is vandalized, y'all. Like, this man, I know, like, once again, he lives 40 minutes away, but once again, his mom lives nearby. He knows people around the area that go to the schools in the area, and he also was the only one that really had my address like that, and was the only one that really went during the time to not like me for reason. Like, I literally even asked my ex situationship. I was like, do you have anything to do with it? And he was just like, no. And I'm just like, yeah, like, I figured, but I just wanted to make sure. Like, it just didn't make any sense. And so all in all, that's what happened. Luckily I was able to wash it off, but it was like still like a pain in the butt. Like, why am I cleaning you're a mess. And so he had a jacket, and I told myself I was gonna keep it, but then luckily my mom convinced me that I need to give it back because I don't want any bad karma. You know, at the end of the day, despite this whole story in our relationship, yes, it sucks what happened, but I will acknowledge that it wasn't all so bad. I did have a fun time and all, of course. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm grateful for the time we had. Once again, this isn't to put him on blast or to bash him in any way and to make people hate him or to come attack him or yada yada. Like, at the end of the day, he's a good person. We just didn't work out, and there's a lot of things that, you know, for especially for him, that he needs to work through. But I'm grateful for the time that we did have, and yeah, I hope y'all never have to go through anything similarly, but it's very character building. So yeah, hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Peace. It's already ends.